We have a special guest today to talk about the current strike, Rebecca Friedrichs, a public school teacher for 28 years and a former local union leader. However, she was involved in a lawsuit against one of the largest teachers' unions, California Teachers Association. It challenged the union for forced unionism, and the case went all the way to the Supreme Court in 2016. She's also the founder of For Kids and Country, a national movement of citizens aimed to restore our schools and culture. So Rebecca, the Los Angeles Unified School District is the second largest school district in the country. The teachers' union is demanding 30% pay increase, among other things. The district superintendent said that they would effectively put the school district in a bankruptcy position. And in the meantime, we have 500,000 students forced to stay at home. So what is your take on all of this?
Well, I taught for 28 years, my husband for 42 years. Neither one of us would ever step our foot inside of a strike. They're completely denying the children an education. After denying them education all throughout the COVID pandemic, now they're, taking it another step further, denying these children. I think the superintendent is right. This is a very difficult time in America. The economy is crashing. And for this teacher union, I want to make it very clear, most teachers don't agree with the union. So it's UTLA, United Teachers Los Angeles, is a very powerful organization that uses teachers as pawns to push a very radical agenda. And so UTLA is doing something very dangerous for the children of Los Angeles, for the people of Los Angeles. And I think it's time that the American people stand up to these so-called unions and stop allowing them to use us as pawns and to hold our children hostage for their political agenda.
Well, you were a teacher. Doesn't this look like a good thing for teachers? So if they were to get the 30% pay increase, wouldn't all teachers and staff members benefit through this collective bargaining power of the unions?
Wow, well, there's a lot in that question. So first of all, in the old days, teachers weren't very unhappy with their salary before the unions came along, and things were going nicely. Teachers would, have maybe a faculty senate, and they'd sit down with their school district and with parents, taxpayers, and they would come up with fair pay that equaled the kind of money that was coming into the school district. Well, ever since collective bargaining was passed, parents were removed from the equation and taxpayers were removed from the equation. So actually, collective bargaining is not healthy for any of us. Now, a lot of teachers think it's good because the unions have told them that it's good, but it really isn't. And let's just question this 30% raise. We are in the worst economy in decades. And the children in Los Angeles Unified School District, in large part, are failing. They didn't receive an education for over a year, or they were getting a mishmash of thrown together online education. The children are suffering. The people are suffering. Many of the families' businesses have gone out of business. And these teachers want a 30% raise. I really question the motives of people who would not put their community first, would put themselves first. So again, I don't think it's the rank and file teacher that's behind this. I think it's a union agenda.
So do you believe the unions today represent the majority of teachers in the state on issues such as school reopening, vaccination mandate, CRT, sex education, and transgenderism?
The unions 100% do not support the opinions and desires of the majority of teachers. I speak to hundreds of teachers, all the time. That's all we do. And I can tell you, every teacher that I've spoken to has said, I'm not afraid to go teach. I'm not afraid of the COVID. Every teacher I know is 100% against this agenda to transgenderize children, to hide it from their parents, to call the child some pretend pronoun without telling their parent. Great teachers work with parents to support parents in great education for children. And so all the teachers that I know, and the real teachers in America, they're out there to serve and to give children a great education. And these unions are destroying the great education. They're removing outstanding things like phonics and Western civilization, and they're replacing it with this transgenderism and radical racial divisiveness. And they've also brought in policies that have made our classrooms war zones where you can't discipline children. There's no consequences. So teachers are just they're not being represented at all. Teachers need a new voice. The unions are not their voice.
Now, how do you think this can be resolved? If you're saying that the teachers union is taking on a life of its own by getting more involved in politics and becoming a special interest group by itself, what could be the solution to resolve not only the current strike, but also going forward?
In my opinion, the only way to resolve the problems in our schools is to remove the unions 100%. Not just give people a choice to not be a part of it, but actually kick them out. Our American founders started our schools in a very specific way, and they said the only way you can keep a free republic is with a well-educated, moral citizenry that can self-govern. The unions have destroyed excellence education. They are destroying the morals because they don't want people to self-govern. So the only way we can save our country and save our schools is to march these unions and their special interest groups right out of our schools and put great teachers and good parents in charge again.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining us today.
Thank you, David.